driving through the cemetery, like through the grass.
The driver swerves off-road and goes airborne. This one is going to take us to a department we've seen a lot over the last few years, one which I think we can pronounce correctly. The Fond du Lac Sheriff's Office.
Driving through the cemetery like through the grass. The driver swerves off-road and goes airborne. 4 words that should never exist in the same sentence. Driving through a cemetery like it's grass. But that's exactly what happened in Columbia, South Carolina, when a 55-year-old man decided a graveyard, specifically Elmwood Cemetery, one of the most haunted in America, was his personal off-road shortcut. This isn't a horror movie, this is a police pursuit. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to AA Dark Files because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. And the evidence here is a trail of crushed headstones, shredded tires, and a driver who gave law enforcement an explanation so absurd you'll think we made it up. Here's the visual anchor. Picture a Chevy Malibu airborne over a ditch, landing inside a cemetery. Tombstones are not speed bumps, but in these 4 pursuits, that's exactly how they were treated.
And quickly grabs a set of stop sticks.
Speeds are still 115. They're still northbound coming up to Kicking.
He tosses the sticks.
The driver swerves off-road to avoid the sticks and goes airborne. You took the curb. 1050-1050 rollover. EMSBNT rollover. The driver and a passenger are trapped in the car. Hands. Show me your hands. That first pursuit took us to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, a department we've covered before. A deputy got word a fleeing Chevy Malibu was headed his way. He lit it up. The driver, a 23-year-old woman named Crystal Pagano, hit 115 miles per hour. Stop sticks were deployed. She swerved, went airborne, and flipped the car. Now the deputies who were chasing her had to become first responders. But here's where the irony explodes. The deputies approached the wreck, weapons drawn, not knowing if the 2 suspects were armed. They were trapped inside. The passenger, 20-year-old Cole Higgins, dropped a cell phone after allegedly calling his mom from inside the overturned car. That's the moral refrain. You can't outrun who you are. You can't outrun who you are. Deputies had to break the windshield to pull them out.
And just in time,
Speeds are still 115.
because it looks like the pursuit is fast approaching.
Northbound V Victor coming up to Kicking.
The driver swerves off-road to avoid the sticks.
What's your girl's name, bro? Crystal. Crystal. Name's Crystal and the female. I love you, Crystal. And now to deal with rescuing the driver. Crystal, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Grab my hand. Come on. Grab my hand. A 23-year-old woman, scared, trapped, pulled from a wreck she caused. Both driver and passenger were treated for minor injuries. Crystal Pagano was taken to jail, but on the way there, deputies found Crystal on Crystal. Drug charges on top of fleeing and eluding. The passenger, Cole Higgins, charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. What began as a high-speed chase ended with a confession of fear, a broken windshield, and a booking photo. The ticking clock moment. What happens when you force a vehicle to stop only to discover the person behind the wheel wasn't running from the police? They were running from the consequences of the life they've already chosen.
Apparently, the passenger is on the phone with his mom.
Drop the item so we can get you out!
Drop the item! You don't need the bid! Drop the item!
Let me see your hands! Show us your hands now!
Finally, he drops the phone.
I'm gonna break out front. Yeah, get those.
There's no way for the 2 of them to get out the back.
Turns out the car's tags are for a BMW and he's driving an Infiniti, which is showing no signs of slowing down. The driver is now on the opposite side of the road heading towards oncoming traffic. Where you at? We are on opposite lane of travels too much. Correction, lower 27. Now to Richland County, South Carolina. Master Deputy Brian Salmon attempted a traffic stop for a tag violation. The tags belonged to a BMW. The car was an Infiniti. That simple mismatch triggered a pursuit that would end in a graveyard. The driver, Michael Bannister, 55, led deputies through residential streets, onto sidewalks, through intersections. At one point, he tossed something out the window, couldn't tell what. K9 units joined, stop sticks were deployed, he was hit twice. And still, he kept going. He made a U-turn, he went under an overpass, he tried to get on the highway, and then he made a mistake. He came to a literal dead end. A cemetery.
Turns out the car's tags are for a BMW, and he's driving an Infiniti, which is showing no signs of slowing down. The driver's now on the opposite side of the road heading towards oncoming traffic.
Not just any old graveyard, this is Elmwood Cemetery, considered one of the most haunted graveyards in all of America. Vehicle. A deputy up ahead is blocking the way, so the driver takes a detour and is now traversing tombstones and trampling over cemetery plots. Driving through the cemetery like through the grass. This is where the phrase returns. Driving through the cemetery like through the grass. Michael Bannister took a detour through tombstones, trampling over cemetery plots. Deputies surrounded him. He slammed on the brakes just in time, dangling from the edge of a 12-foot wall. He was completely surrounded, placed under arrest, charged with failure to stop, reckless driving, and driving without a license. And then came the explanation.
Canine specialist Sam Ramirez has now caught up with the pursuit. And since she's got Canine Kodak with her, she's going to take over as the lead car in the chase.
Hey Taylor, where are you at?
Right behind you.
Also, turns out he had an explanation for why he fled. He told Brill and Salmon he didn't want to stop until he finished smoking all his crack. He actually said that? Well, do we know if he achieved that? I mean, it seems like he probably was not able to actually finish the crack before he hit that cliff. Yeah, can't stop what I've started. I didn't want to stop until I finished smoking all my crack. That's the actual quote. He told a deputy that. The moral refrain, you can't outrun who you are. A man driving through a haunted cemetery, fleeing police because he wanted to finish his drugs. The irony is staggering. He treated a graveyard like a shortcut, and in doing so, nearly made it his final resting place. From South Carolina to Georgia, Clayton County, Deputy Rob Fleming, a report of a vehicle that had fled previously. They found it, a traffic stop for impeding traffic on the interstate. The driver pulled over, then took off as the deputy approached the window. Clayton County has a policy. You run from us, we chase, we're going to get you.
Been hit twice by stop sticks, but instead of stopping, he's now basically just going around in circles. He goes under the overpass and is now trying to get on the highway, which turns out to be a grave mistake, because the driver has now come to a dead end, literally, and is now entering a grave.
All right, so I tried to stop this car for impeding traffic on the interstate. So he pulls over and walk up to the window, or get out the car to walk up to, and he takes off. So, of course, we're going to chase him. Whoever runs, we chase. So chase him. I tried to pit him, or Deputy House tried to pit him. Traffic came up. Once the traffic got clear, I went on ahead and initiated the pit. A pit maneuver, the car crashed into another vehicle but kept going. A second pit maneuver, the driver finally stopped. Multiple people inside the vehicle, chaos. Deputies detained everyone quickly. But here's the part that transforms this from a routine chase to a national security level thriller. The driver was already wanted for murder.
Another dead end and slams on the brakes. And just in the nick of time, because now he's dangling from the edge of this 12-foot wall. The driver's now completely surrounded and is placed under arrest.
1067 one time. Excellent job.
Turns out the driver was already wanted for murder. His name is Daniel Chapman, Georgia. Chapman now has a dozen new charges in addition to the murder charge, including fleeing, obstruction, reckless driving, hit and run, forgery, and several weapons charges. The male passenger was arrested on a weapons charge, and the female passenger was released with no charges. Daniel Chapman, wanted for murder. Deputies found an arsenal of weapons inside the car and at least a dozen empty bottles of broach powder. He had a fake ID and a real ID identity fraud. He was a convicted felon with a history of fleeing and eluding. He had done time, he was on the shelf, and he ran again. The ticking clock moment. How many lives were at risk because this man, a convicted felon wanted for murder, was driving through the suburbs of Atlanta with guns, with drugs, with a history of running? This is not a traffic stop. This is interdiction. And it's why police pursue
Reckless driving and driving without a license. Also turns out he had an explanation for why he fled. He told Braylon Salmon he didn't want to stop until he finished smoking all his crack.
He actually said that?
He actually said that.
Well, do we know if he achieved that? I mean, it seems like he probably was not able to actually finish the crack.
Again, this shows you the significance of pulling vehicles over, right? This is a murder suspect that they never would have found had there not been an effort to just pull this vehicle over. Yeah, it's interdiction, and you never know what you're going to get. And this is a guy that should have been already in jail a while back. A good catch. A good catch. But here's the unanswered question. How many Daniel Chapmans are out there right now driving with fake IDs, firearms, and active warrants, relying on the fact that most pursuits end before they begin? How many departments are too afraid to chase? How many murder suspects slip through because the policy says, don't engage, Now to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sergeant Jordan Lear, a dirt bike, a driver refusing to stop, face covered with a mask. Black male, green jacket, blue jeans, boots, black backpack. He made a U-turn. He went through a recreational area, a park with mountain bike trails. This wasn't a car. This was an off-road vehicle in its natural habitat.
25 East, Old Dixie, Florida Tag, Romeo Hotel Delta, Zulu 59 on a silver Jeep.
So this started with Corporal Usi there. Now, we see Sergeant Lear also following this guy. Not easy, though, when the guy's on a dirt bike. So right now, we're trying to get this guy to stop. He's refusing. He's done some very strange things. Unfortunately, we can't pin it. So we're going to just try to keep him in sight safely as possible. Hope he don't injure himself or someone else. The biker went into the woods. He went through the park. He circled back. Deputies set up a perimeter. They brought in a drone, K9 gunner, and then they heard the bike. Revving, stuck, mud. The biker had gone into a swampy area, soft ground, water. He was trapped. The moral refrain, you can't outrun who you are. He thought the dirt bike gave him an advantage. It didn't. It gave him a swamp.
Oh yeah, chip is going to... And let's set up for a pit.
Still 25 eastbound coming up to Moreland.
35 in Moreland.
So everybody set up for a pit.
I'm going to call hotel.
I'm so scared, dude. They're so trainy. Don't even worry about it. Trust me, it doesn't hurt that bad when you get bit. You just gotta watch where you walk. It gets deep straight up. That's our drone unit searching. What the hell? Drone, have you found us? You went a lot further past. Come back towards us. The search intensified. They found the bike partially submerged in a pond. The driver had abandoned it. Now they were searching in the dark, in a Louisiana swamp with alligators. Corporal Brett Usi did something remarkable. He took off his equipment belt, his shirt, and he went into the water. Man, them things are heavy as shit, man. Y'all need to do some cardio. Oh, damn, that is heavy. This sucks. Probably got water in the tank or something. This thing better be stolen. Let's go all the way out to the road and we'll deal with it out there. Hang on that way. That's me clapping for Corporal Brett. Applause. Uzi there, man. Well done. Wow. That is commitment and courage. Commitment and courage. But the driver was gone. They never found him that night. The bike wasn't stolen. They found a VIN. The suspect was possibly leaving the area of a reported shooting while wearing that mask. They hoped the in-car camera captured his face when he turned around during the chase. The unanswered question, what happens when the pursuit ends, but the suspect doesn't? He's out there. And all they have is a bike, a mask, and a trail of mud. Let's take a step back. 4 pursuits, 4 outcomes, 1 woman flipping her car, deputies pulling her out and finding drugs on her. 1 man driving through a graveyard confessing he wanted to finish his crack. 1 murder suspect already wanted caught because the chase didn't end. 1 dirt biker lost in a swamp who might have been connected to a shooting. You can't outrun who you are. These are not just traffic stops. These are moments where the mask slips, sometimes literally, sometimes figuratively, and we see the person underneath.
We need a car that can help you. Take care of business. Those folks be going to jail. We're still continuing our investigation. Woo! I like We're gonna sit you down right here real quick, big dog, all right? We're just gonna figure out what we got going on. We'll go from there, okay? All right. Have a seat for me.
We now know a little more about why that biker may have fled. According to the department, the suspect was possibly leaving the area of a reported shooting while wearing the mask. As for the bike, they did find a VIN. The bike was not stolen, so they're still trying to identify the person on that bike. One more thing we asked if once they got out, remember they talking about whether they could start the bike up again? Corporal Usi said, and I quote, "No, unfortunately, it's not a boat. No, unfortunately, it's not a boat." That's the final note. A bike in a swamp, a killer in custody, a woman with drugs, a man in a cemetery. Here's what we want you to do. Go to the public records, the Richland County Sheriff's Department, the Fond du Lac County Sheriff's Office, the Clayton County Police Department, the Baton Rouge Police Department. Look up the arrest reports, look at the warrants, look at the charging documents. Ask yourself, what do all these pursuits have in common? What happens the second the lights go on? We'll tell you, people run, but they can't outrun who they are. And the evidence, the public documents, the body cam, the in-car footage, it's all out there. Look it up. And when you do, ask yourself this: are we chasing people, or are we chasing a system that lets them run in the first place? If you found this analysis valuable, and if you want to see more breakdowns of the evidence that the headlines leave out, hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to AA Dark Files, and turn on notifications. Because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. And the evidence doesn't run, it stays on the record.
Median and blocking them off, and we got a successful pit and good pursuit. So they're going, well, the driver's going down to Clayton County Jail.
These guys deserve a little hazard pay. Oh, I think for this one, I tell us Northeastern US Yankees, we would not do that. You know, you get these Southern boys and girls, they are amazing to me. They, and you know, they have the bike there somewhere in that swamp, and now they're just trying to find the guy. And one more thing, if you ever find yourself in a high-speed pursuit, remember, you're not just running from the police, you're running from your own choices, and they always catch up, even in a cemetery, even in a swamp, even at 115 miles per hour.